How we doing, guys? Sorry, when we click behind me. Hope you're all having a good game week, and there we go. There we go, that's better. So thanks a lot for joining me, guys. Wee bit behind. My dinner was a wee bit late in coming to me, so I was a wee minute or two behind for setting up and stuff. Thanks for bearing with me. And let's get stuck into it, guys. So we had a really good announcement come out today before we kick off the live stream. We're going to have a multiple club onboarding this game week. Looks to be, I think the consensus is we're going to get multiple Serie A clubs. I'm really excited if that is what happens, because I have often wondered, and you guys might be the same as well, there is a lot of leagues where they've clearly went in and got licenses for individual clubs, and it's always been the kind of, oh, what happens when they go to bring on like Crotone or Spal or something, you know, how does that work, you know? So maybe they just kind of get those ones, put them on ice, maybe save a few of them up and do a kind of group onboarding. So it could be really exciting depending on who it is. I think a lot, I seen 2 or 3 guesses on the Twitter feed, and it was like Fiorentina, Udinese, and was it Parma? I can't remember the third one, but Udinese and Fiorentina, I've seen a lot of people guessing based on the clues and stuff. So that could be who we expect to see later in the week. Both teams have got some okay players, and yeah, could be some good fun. For the actual game week itself, Mike Basson, evening, good to see you, my man, and Stefan, good to see you, buddy. For the game week itself, guys, do you know, we've kind of lost it right at the end, Now, I'll go back through some of the teams that we've done. I'm not going to go through it all in like critical detail, but there's definitely some really good SO5 lessons that I've relearned or been brought back to the front of my mind now that so much of the gallery is active, because as much as it's really fun right now and I've got a lot at my disposal, I've not been in this situation since November, December, and you know, depending on your size of your gallery, how you deploy your assets, basically, for lack of a better term, there's more than just picking the best players, and you know, we'll kind of see that as we kind of dive through it. I think it's going to be the rest of them. Oh yeah, I think it might be the rest of Serie A is what most people are, or you know, I think I've seen somewhere it's 3 clubs, but if it is like the rest of a division or something, then brilliant, even better. So we've basically bagged a tier 1 rare and 0.01. Now it is the team we put the least faith in every game week. We do it every game week, and guys, I'm going to say this now, right? I've always said this. I don't pay that much attention to the J League. I bought myself a couple of cards, and I've won a couple of cards, and I just put something in there every game week. And if I pull something out, fantastic. And if I don't, I don't, you know. And look at this team again. Let's bring it back up on screen. So we've got a super rare goalkeeper, which, you know, the consensus again is these guys can't do anything for you. In all fairness, he has not contributed significantly to this lineup, but other than the fact he's played, you know. Koki Machida underperformed, Chanatip turned up, Isaka turned up, and we captained Marcos Llorente. And between the 3 big hitters, there's not much between them, but we did have the captain on the biggest hitter. So a fantastic result. We were sitting like 2nd and 3rd for a long time. There's a few more games to go. I've been in this situation before. If you've been on the channel for a while, this won't be a new sight to you. The very first time we had the current structure that we're in now, a very similar looking team to this, in the exact same division, also finished 7th. Spooky. spooky. So if you're thinking of moving into D3, and that's kind of why I want to take a wee step back and just kind of highlight, I'm not like a mad Asia buff. I kind of know wee bits and pieces, and I'm picking up as I'm going along. You know, you can't jump into some of the stuff we've got here on SoRare, like the J League, the K League, MLS, Belgium, you know, Holland, whatever it might be. If you've not got any prior kind of working knowledge of it, you can read for 24 hours a day for 4 days, and in theory you could have read everything that's current and worth reading. That's not the same as like really knowing a division and getting the kind of ebbs and flows of it. You've got to accept that the longer you're kind of paying attention to some of this stuff, you know, in terms of different regions that you're not too familiar with, you know, the more familiar you become, and that is when you realise over time, like, wow, I actually have a good kind of finger on the pulse when it comes to what's going on here. Now, that being said, this team wasn't much of a masterstroke. Probably the only thing I would attribute to that little kind of spiel I gave you there is the boy Chanatip. He was just playing more, and he was finally back from injury. He's well thought of, yada yada yada. Saka's got it in him, and he was just dying for a game where he could actually get on the end of stuff, and that was due. And Marcos Jr., that was kind of due as well. So, you know, it was kind of good luck in that sense. Ezekiel Barco blew my mind with the goal he scored. I really couldn't believe it. Bob, good to see my man. How was your game week? I think we were chatting earlier on, Bob. Barco's goal blew my mind. I was like, yes, the boy Barco. For any of you who are relatively new to the channel, I picked up this guy in January for 0.299, which was a fantastic. And you know, I've been so excited. I've got an Atlanta shirt coming, printed with number 8 Barco, everything. So I'm so glad when he starts the season off so well, like he has. Just like, yes, man, I'm gonna have such fun this year. The Atletico Madrid boys. Now, Trippier's score is deceptive. Him and Saul both get subbed off at 60 minutes when they were 1-0 down. And look at how 1.47 out of the rewards on that division. All Black conceding 2 is hard, but you know, still keeping the points with his multiplier around the 40s is cool. And Captain Depay without a goal contribution, couldn't have asked any more. And you know, it's really Saul in midfield, him not getting more than 60 minutes. You know, he's basically just walked home with a base score from the first half, and that is probably what's letting me down here. So that's a tough one to accept, but hey ho. Champion America, Lewis Morgan's let me down here, as well as Matarita. Couldn't ask any more from Miguel. Medina was fantastic, and I feel like I've wasted the Medina a little bit this week because he could have went in a multitude of different divisions and made the difference. You know, he could have went in theory alongside Barco in the All-Star. He could have in theory went into even that All-Star D2. I could even just put him in for Cuisance if I was just going, oh fuck it, let's go for it. And look at that, 136 points that was, that D2 off of the places with 2 DNPs, right? Larson's done great, Sanchez has done okay, and Kessler's done probably above average. So, you know, it's really opening my eyes to like how strong the gallery I've got is at the moment. And it depends on, especially for the growth we've had for the last 2 or 3 months, you'll be in the exact same position. You know, you know, depending on what you've been picking up and etc. With all these leagues and competitions, with the expansion pack coming on board as well, you should start to notice that you're able to buff out more teams, and you've got more variation, you've got more choice. And you know what? Actually, you know, I know that guy isn't in the big team, but I can feel that he's been putting up good 40s and 50s, and that team are ripe for the picking. He's going to bop this week, you know, that kind of thing. Kind of got that with Hakimi. They were at home to a minnow. It was only a 1-0 win. And Nunez, I was hanging on him right till the end, because if he'd shot big tonight, if he'd got like 100 points, including his multiplier, we would have been on for a reward in that Division 3. And both my midfielders, as you can see here, they're just clocked in average. But that's what I was saying earlier on. Even if Saul does that, just clocks on average for 90 minutes, 40, you know, it's an extra 4 points that gets me over the line. Tani does okay, and Hakimi's is also the star of the team there. Now, see, from almost here on in, guys, a lot of the teams I picked this game week, I picked them knowing I was going to have a DNP goalkeeper. Mikey boy, 3 team was just, oh, okay, from the clue, okay, because of the numbers, etc. Okay, got you. But the second clue has got 4 numbers in it, which could relate to titles for some more clubs like Genoa or Verona, Cagliari, and Sampdoria. Robert Turner, good to see you, my man. It's much better to have games to play rather than watching your ranking drop. Yeah, I suppose that's quite true. Good mate with Cecilia DNP. Ouch, didn't happen for you. Unlucky son, I feel that pain. And Mikey boy, I still have 2 players left in America D4 for Santos. Last game of the game week. You've got 2 guys at Santos, Mikey. I love the scouting that you're doing. I'd love to know who that is. I didn't actually know we had any Santos players on the platform. But this is one of the lineups I went out. Now, Paolobi could have maybe played, right? But it's almost an expected DNP. But I thought I'm gonna put 4 powerful rares together, or mega rares as we were calling them on the stream before. and let's see what they can come in with. And do you know what? Vlasic is let the side down, if you like, in terms of the mega rare status. But being 54 points off of something with a known DNP goalkeeper in a very competitive Division 4, good choice of captain, not quite the best. I think if we make a better choice in the captain, we pick the T&Cs, for example, and then even if Vlasic gets up to like the 60s, like you'd expect perhaps in most matches this season. Challenger D4 again, we'll get into this with almost an expected known goal DNP. And Bemba's still in playoffs, so we don't really care what's going to happen there because we're not going to get another 100 points out of him. Akhmatov gets sent off, which was a kick in the stones. Sangar started, which was nice to see, didn't do very much, and Larson also was amazing this game week. And this, guys, again, was really close with a common goalkeeper. You know, Mancini just scored so rotten, and look how many points were. You know, so even Mancini is not going to score a 96 this game week, but we spoke about them on the stream, guys, enough times. Cagliari are a banana skin team. You know, they can trip teams up, and they absolutely wiped the floor with Roma. Their eyes will probably be on Thursday night with Man United, but Paul Lopez, common goalkeeper, and Mancini, both of them resulting being 85 points short between the two of them. And even, you know, the Sané could have done a little bit better. We've done a great choice on captain and Robbo, and again, so close with not all, you know, it's not as if I'm all guns blazing. I've got like Keylor Navas in my champion D4 like I normally would, or whatever. Champion America D4, and I've actually sold my Andre Blake. I sold him yesterday for like barely just over like 2/3 of a coin, which was a good trade for me. I'm now very lean on goalkeepers in MLS, and I know it's going to hurt me at certain points, but I'm also kind of banking on the fact that with the extra Euro place, with the extra expansion pack and whatever, I've been picking up some cheap like youth goalkeepers, and I'm sure I can maybe get an extra fixture here or there, and it should kind of probably help me out. Cole Bassett has been an absolute letdown. Vela was an absolute gamble, and I regret doing that. As soon as Chicharito hits a hat-trick, I'm like, I've just wasted that team. You know, even with Vela, or a Vela level player coming in shooting 86 points, including multiplier, would have been a big ask. But Cole Bassett has just let us down big time. Now, it must be said, right after the match, Miles Robson had a better score, and he kind of faded away. We picked up ETH, we got all 5 guys in. We put Keylor Navas in. The word from Mikey Boy was that Keylor and FootMob and SofaScore and all these other places was that Navas probably wasn't going to play. I put him in here as a gamble. It paid off. Gadi Keane let me down, getting subbed off, I think, about half time. And Denzel Dumfries in a 1-0 win. His points again were really high right before the end of the game week, and they just dropped off after a change or something. So I think he got booked, so I don't know if that's it. So really, guys, every team's got a story, and this week we're so imagine, you know, every one of those teams, guys, were really close to doing something. We could have had an amazing week on the, you know, for the club. FC Barcelona, just the one tier 1 we'll be ticking in with from the Asia region, and a little bit of ETH. Now, I'm going to check on the comments, see where we're at. Santos in Mexico, I beg your pardon, sorry. Mikey Boy, duh, it's my bad. Non-stick Lama, good to see it. I got an 84 of Charles Perez for Roma, which was about the only one big score for them. Oh, fair enough. Perez is one that I've kind of thought about once or twice about Roma, because he is like a Barca kid, you know, and Pedro does well there, and even guys like Callahan and Castillo, Suso. There's a lot of good. Oh, sugar, sorry, I shouldn't probably be doing this on screen. Sorry, guys. Would you cry it? Yeah, so Spanish players are doing better and better in Italy. So somebody like him could easily come on once he's acclimatized a bit more, just with natural, you know, it's just human beings. You know, you can't just move to a foreign country and just because you're a football player be expected to, you know, integrate instantly, Latin or not, you know. So as time goes on, somebody like that could become more appealing. If he shot you an 80 plus, then fantastic. Mikey Boy, really glad to hear it. I hope for 100 from Alonga. Well, I actually didn't realise that Alonga would, with this expansion pack, so I'm really glad for all the Alonga holders, because you must have been in absolute agony because he was such a monster last year. So getting him for ACL is brilliant until he moves on, because you kind of hope these money grab transfers that they make to Saudi. There's a few players on the platform that have experienced that. You do hope it's short term. Your worst nightmare is that they become Oscar, you know, and they just fully integrate and just go, this is great, I love this, I'm getting paid buckets of tax-free money, the league is easy, I'm amazing, everybody loves me. Yeah, so that's your worst fear. Your All-Star D4 shows why the threshold is so important to smaller managers. You hit ETH with no one base score over 50. Yeah, so the D4 didn't actually do, wasn't, you know, the scores weren't that great. Gadi Kinda kind of let it down. As I said, the goalkeeper was my best performer. You know, and again, when you've got, you know, that's probably a really good example, Mikey. Yeah, but again, there's lots of good defenders, so I could have in theory had a goalkeeper shoot like the 34 that Dumfries got, and had another defender that shot 51, because there's plenty of defenders, especially in the Challenger region, that sorry, let's get it back on, that can shoot 50s, you know, quite comfortably in most game weeks, because they're just attacking players or good solid defenders, and there's so many of them, in the supply then is excessive, and thus you can find them on the market very well priced by standards of a midfield counterpart or a striker. So yeah, it wasn't very impressive at all. Keylor Navas, of course, is a big name, but picking up a goalkeeper that can shoot you 46 points is nothing special. So yeah. Now the game week we're about to roll into, guys, is a funny one, right? Because there's not that much going on. We do have some new the competitions that are available in it. I'll just show you. I've got 2 teams out now. You'll see the state of the teams I've got. So we've got the CONCACAF Champions League, which is lovely. Now, as soon as I seen that, I thought this is going to be a great game week. Now we've got some Turkish football. Yeah, we've got Galatasaray and Fenerbahce are both playing. And again, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but whenever you look at the Turkish Superliga, if they're not playing each other, basically you can expect them to be winning. So it looks like a good fixture for them. Champions League. Kai Havertz basically against Real Madrid from a SoRare perspective, and then PSG versus Ruben Diaz. Ferran Torres unlikely. China has a few players. I can't remember exactly who's in each of these clubs, but guys like I can't remember, Chiquino and one or two others. João Felipe against Atletico Bilbao. Nothing there. Nagoya Grampus and Kawasaki. So this is a massive game in Japan. Nagoya have been notoriously tight at the back, and Kawasaki have been notoriously front-footed. So it's the unmovable object versus unstoppable force. Who is going to prevail? It's going to be a funny one to watch out. I've only got Kawasaki players, so I'm kind of tied to backing them on this. It's then Pareo against Gabriel Magalhaes, basically, and then we've got Bruno Fernandes and maybe Alex Telles against Roma. So decent kind of Europa League little outing there, even though there's only 2 games. And then AFC Champions League is against a couple of clubs. Pity Martinez isn't available. It sounds like Alonga is, and Matrita, sorry, I beg your pardon, is not. And then Conabol and Libertadores, we've got River Plate, and I don't think there's anything else, is there? CONCACAF Champions League, we've got the MLS clubs now. Atlanta v Philly, I'm going heavy Atlanta because of the composition of my gallery. And Toronto, Toronto cruises out. Mexican teams is tough. You know, they are definitely seen as better on the pitch. Now, I actually think that a lot of these fixtures are going to go pretty well for the American sides, especially with all their first legs are at home in essence. And, you know, I don't know, I've just got a good feeling that they're going to do well, they're going to pull some results out of the bag. That will be good for SO5, that will be it'll make all the divisions, because there is only the Global Open, very competitive, you know. So I'm going in with 2 lineups. I've managed to get a D3 out by the skin of my teeth, okay, so this is what we're rocking with. Keylor Navas is going to kill me to support him against Man City on Tuesday or Wednesday night, whenever it is. Miles Robinson, I actually might swap him out, because he did finish the game off with a 60 and I thought he has to go in, but his score's now been nerfed down to 44, which makes me think, do I maybe want to bring in Mensah, who is a big imperious centre back also, and he can pair with Malukas Zelarayan, or Valenzuela, who's a bit more of attacking fullback, and attacking fullbacks can make you or break you. I don't know if I want to be taking that kind of gamble. Mancini, I don't want to be playing on recent form. Gabriel, I don't want to be playing on recent form. Same with DeAndre Yedlin, don't know if he's playing or not. So I've got a tough decision there, actually. I think it's easier for me to back Atlanta versus Philly than it is for me to back Columbus versus Monterrey. So I'm happy to go with Zelarayan, because I think he'll score and I think he'll be a part of any goal contributions. And I don't think I've got a better choice in midfield, really. I've got Eo Tanaka, but really just because of the last DNP, I suspect I was kind of holding him back. I've not investigated. I could even just go for Emerson Heinemann, because I was actually really impressed with him in the last match. And that would make this a little bit safer, potentially, because I expect him... No, I'm going to go with the big scorers, because that's who I think is going to bring home the bacon. We're going to go... Do I just stack it, man? No. And then we've got Barco stacking with Robinson anyway, so that works out pretty well. Barco's just the man at the moment, and we're crossing our fingers and toes that also the super rare we picked up in January for 0.299, Ayo Akinola, got a token appearance off the bench. And to be honest with you guys, I watched the extended highlights of the game. they were going hell for leather to get back into the match. They were changing shape. They're bringing on all their attacking players. So I do not think they intended on bringing him back. It must be said, but it was a surprise to see him on the bench. So I think he'll be back on the bench again, and then even if he gets 5 minutes and they can pick me up that token 25 points, because of the way this game week is kind of looking in terms of who's playing who and all the rest of it, that might be enough to get me something, which it's the only option I've got, because as you'll see in this team, my other forward option is Rio Hatate, who's got a string of DNPs, no sign of coming back into the team, and otherwise I'm actually quite happy with the middle three, and the goalkeeper should be in contention for the game as well. So I'm kind of happy with that. I just have no other forward options. I'm not going into the market for one at this stage, because that is for the D4. So as long as the other 3/4 these guys can pick up the ETH, I'm going to be content with that. And my D3 is my stab at getting a card reward, basically. So it's not too much going on this game week. We dropped a bunch of content last week. I've not recorded anything, guys, for a few days. I'm not gonna lie, I actually went toy shopping today. So actually, because the shops opened up, the kids had birthday money they'd saved up and whatever. And you know me, I love going and spending money on toys and whatever. So we went a few toy shops, got McDonald's, all that kind of stuff. So I've not really been on my phone and stuff like that today. So when I seen the announcement for the new clubs, I thought, Brian, it gives us some good stuff to talk about on the stream. And also then at the same kind of time, I don't think much has been going on. We're all just kind of waiting for the game week to kind of wind in. Now, the problem I've got, right, is, and this is what I was going to show you, this has been a main kind of talking point on Twitter, and this is probably the last kind of meat on the bones kind of thing I'll probably go through on the stream, guys, because it's not just too much to go on. I've done a video talking about the expansion pack. If you haven't watched that yet, it's on the channel, you can go check it out, in terms of my reaction and all that kind of stuff. There'll be more content that'll fall off the back of it. There is a lot of great content falling off the back of it already on Twitter. I've seen a couple of great posts from John Walton, Fantasy Gaffer, and Andrew at RotoWire. Both done really good stat analysis. And there's been one or two other ones. Sorry, I'm not able to credit everyone. Memory's terrible sometimes. But when we expect the deadline to be ending and whatnot for the game weeks, because we do have a buffer, I'm really worried on Friday for what time the game week is meant to start, because I've got FC Sol. Key came back from injury out of the blue, but they're playing at 11:30 in the morning. So I don't know what's going to happen in terms of when the game week's going to start. It is only one match. It is 2 licensed clubs, so I don't think they'll want to keep them out of the cold. So I'm hoping that when this game week comes out, they do bring that match into sync. It means a lot to me, obviously. So I've got a big card that I want to be getting deployed. So it's a funny one, and again, I know it's been a topic on a lot of conversations on Twitter in terms of the game week deadlines. I think we were all happy that it was back to back, and just continuous. Another thing I'd like to say, and I was actually going to write this and send it to them in a message, so I'm going to say it on the stream so that I don't forget, and I will do it. But I don't know why, and I don't know why right now they don't have the next game week open also. And what you could have is you could have the deadline overlapping. So the deadline for, let's say, game week 161, let's say it went all the way up to the minute to the next game week, right? Every game week ran consecutive. All you would need to do is put the deadline for it like 24 hours before the game week starts. In terms of on the, so you can make it 5 o'clock on every Thursday, locks you in for Friday to Monday, and 5 o'clock on Monday locks you in for the next one, regardless of when the actual game week itself starts, and then if it's just a designated, this is this time of submission, this is the last chance to go, and we're all on board with it, no matter when it is, then I think that's the ultimate thing, because we all want to have long over cards playing at every opportunity. That's why they brought the expansion pack in, is to give us more utility, to give us more fixtures, for there to be more competitions, and just the thing to be bigger and even more fun. So I do think, they had the solution, they changed it because people were complaining they weren't getting rewards on time. I think now that we've had both sides of the table, I think we'd all much rather have continuous game weeks versus slightly quicker rewards, because the rewards aren't even really that much quicker, and we all know we know most of the restraints and constrictions around that, of course, gas fees and ETH running away in price, etc, blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff. So I think knowing what we know and having experienced both sides, I think we'd all prefer, even if the rewards were delayed an extra like 6 hours or something, or whatever the consequence would be, but we have continuous game weeks back to back to back. We'll dive back into the comments. I get to use Jonjic again last night. Well done. Tiquinho was released from Tejan. Oh, was he? World's gone crazy. Good to see you, my man. Blitzkrieg, my man. Fist bump. Good to see you, my man. Did you withdraw your ETH or buy players? I put my ETH. So I got it up to about 5 and a bit ETH, and I've put it in my Coinbase because I went through a wee spree. What day is today? Monday. Saturday night. I wasn't drinking or anything. I'm not really a big drinker. I had a curry tonight, as I told you, it's a wee bit late. So I actually do have a cider with me tonight. And this is probably, what's this, April? Probably, I don't know, maybe like the 5th cider I've had this year. You know, I just don't really drink too much. But what's the whole point in that? Oh yeah. So on Saturday, I put a bunch of bids out on auctions, and I did a few direct offers, and they were all cards that I'm kind of eyeing up and whatever. There are none that I'm like desperate for, and I looked at my balance afterwards and I thought, do you know what? Some of them were auction bids, which, as you know, you can't really take back. You need to wait for your bid to be beaten. And I thought, do you know what? I'd actually probably be quite disappointed if my balance went down to that and I got all these players, because I'm not really. They're not the sort of players I'm kind of targeting right now. You know, I wasn't really that excited about the ones I was going for, even though I know I want them and they tick a lot of boxes for me. I'm just not maybe ready. So I thought to myself, I'm probably going to make a decision I'm going to regret in terms of buying a couple of players and then just go, why did I even bother my backside? So I thought I'm going to put my main bulk of ETH in my Coinbase, and then if I know I'm going after something or I'm getting ready for it, you know, switching it over takes like half an hour or something, you know, and for the wee charge of the mining, you know. So I moved 5 ETH basically over 2 transactions. The first one was like 4.5 ETH I moved, which is, you probably know the price of ETH is quite a fair bit of money. And the gas fee was £18, you know. MDJ Football, or Mel, she did a tweet on Saturday just saying gas fees are low, and I thought, are they cool? And I just thought I'd try it, and I was like, 18 quid to move 4.5 ETH. I didn't think it was that bad, to be honest. And then I think earlier today I moved half an ETH. So I sold my Blake, and I thought I'll just put that with the rest and get up to 5. And then I know when something big comes that I'm like, that's what I'm going for. And do you know what as well? Oh, do you know, part of my thinking with that as well, this is a little bit of a tangent, right? But I was so close, guys. I was so close to putting my name down for like that. I don't know if you've seen it, but Eminem dropped an NFT, right? And guys, there was like a few different ones that were amazing. It was on this nifty gateway, and like there's like packs that were like $500, and you got a random like NFT from the pack, and they basically are just like comic book covers. And then there was other ones that were $313, and they were like an NFT picture, basically like a graphic drawing of like a Slim Shady like toy, you know, maybe in different outfits. He's had music videos or whatever with wee accessories and all that kind of thing. They were quite cool. But there was 3 biggies, right? There was 2 things that were basically they were on the same level, right? They were $5,000 each. There was 50 of them. Both of them had the same thing, right, on the sound, and that was a unique like track that Eminem had made for this NFT thing. And they had 2 different like graphic NFT art compositions or displays, whatever you want to call them. And it had the ability to be like Chromecasted, because when you looked at it, the wee Chromecast logo came up, and I thought, that is fucking quality, by the way. They were $5,000 each, and what they came with as well is a physical counterpart, handwritten, numbered, and signed by Eminem. $5,000 it was, but, and I was like, oh, I could buy that. And then there's another one which was in the same. So there's 3 of them, and then the one at the end was a one-off, and it was a different tune to the other 2. The other 2 had the same tune. This one had a totally different one that was called like the Revenge of Stan, and it was quite a cool like kind of, you know, I'm the real Slim Shady kind of thing. Everyone's an Eminem, and there's just droves of them coming, and it was quite cool. And that with an hour and a half to go, that was up at $33,000. And I thought, man, I'd love to. And then anyway, I talked myself in, and I talked myself out of it a few times, and I thought something like that, you need to hold that like guaranteed for like 20-30 years to really like bear the fruits of the labour on it. And I thought, I'm not ready to buy like NFT art that I might need to sit on for 30 years. I'm not quite there yet as well. Similar to some of the cards I was just talking about, you know, I know I want them, and they're not bad for the prices I'm going for them at. Or even that Eminem thing, if I did have an extra $5,000 maybe liquid, I might have done it. So it's only seeing pounds, and that's another thing, guys. I know a lot of the channel is a British audience. Buying stuff in dollars with your pounds is really good right now, you know. So if you are looking at any purchases, if you can buy it in American websites, you know, even Amazon America, you know, get the different domains and whatever, blah blah blah, whatever you need to do. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. Buying things in dollars now is really good. So they were all priced at $5,000, which now is like $3,500 sterling, which You know, when you think people have got in their head it's $5,000, but see, to me and you, if you're in Britain, it's 3.5, really. You know, so I know that sounds a bit stupid if you're a mad finance expert and, you know, caught in forex and whatever, but that's basically how I look at it. Because people all go by round numbers, you know, so people have got in their head 5,000, but what would actually leave your account for that is 3.5. So anyway, I didn't buy it. You can buy them on the secondary market. Some people selling them for like 6 and 7. Anywho, Tanaka, no DNP, it's a bug. Oh, okay, excellent. Brilliant, Stefan. Thanks for clearing that up. RE next game week. Check out SoRare data lineup builder as has. Oh yeah, of course. I always see SoRare data. By the way, I continuously, unwittingly, underutilize it. You know, you're so right, Mikey. They do have that feature. Pozuelo, I'm not banking on him, James. The only reason Akinola is going into the lineup I've got is because I've seen him on the bench. No Pozuelo on the bench. So I think he might come onto the bench for this game, and if he comes onto the bench, you expect he picks up minutes. But I've only got 2 teams this game week, and that's not a gamble I need to take, so I'm not going to. If you are to take it, it is a gamble. It could pay off. And again, like my Akinola, I'm just kind of hoping he gets the token 25 points. That's kind of my best. And anything more than that, back of the net, you know, it's an absolute Brucey bonus. That's kind of my thinking with that situation. Do you have a bull run? I don't know what that means, Stefan. Sorry, you might need to spell that out. Football-wise, I think I'm smart, but most other things you need to maybe explain it once or twice, and I'll pick it up. Nifty Gateway, yeah. So I had to make an account and stuff like that. It was quite cool. I was really prepared. I was like, I'm doing it. I talked myself into it. I was like, I'm making an account. And I'm getting one of these things. It's $5,000. Fuck it. I'm doing it. Nah, I can't. And it just went on for ages, and I say. But again, you know, it's not much different on the secondary market. But I think the killer for that is that you know, you get a physical counterpart that's numbered and signed by Eminem. Pretty sure that's going to go to the people that got it in the drop. Whereas if I buy it on the secondary market, I'm probably not going to receive that unless the guy was to pass it on, which I highly doubt they would. So without that, I'm actually, you know, so that's the kind of FOMO you kind of maybe, I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know if I'd get that. And that was a wee bit of the sprinkles on top, was like the physical counterpart signed thing from Eminem. And I'm thinking to myself, what if you actually like, so I made my account name on it as Quinny3001 or Quinny, I can't remember which, but I thought, maybe if he's hand signing it, he knows, maybe he gets a list of like usernames, you know what I mean? So see if I got like a signed thing to Quinny from Eminem, I'd fucking make me, man. But so anyway, no, I didn't do it. But you can probably tell I'm a wee bit gutted, didn't I? So I don't know what you mean by a bull run, Stefan. I don't, if that you're talking about me getting up for it, maybe then I. Good idea holding the ETH for your main targets. Usually hard for me to keep that discipline when I have ETH in my account. Yeah, I've actually done pretty well. A bull run is an NFT made by Beeple. Oh no, I don't have a bull run, sorry. I don't have any NFTs outside of SoRare. But the Eminem thing grabbed me because it was a unique beat on the NFT that Eminem made. You know what I mean? Eminem's brilliant. See for me, Eminem, like, it's just, I love the guy. I think he's one of the biggest people in the world. Is kind of what I was going to say there. I was like, I think he's one of these people that, you know, everyone likes Eminem. Everyone, you know, I don't know, but he's so big. You know, he's top end. Porto 1-0 down, and Bemba on 55 coming up to half time. That's alright. I need to make it another 100, Mike, so I'm not holding my breath on the old chancel. Might as well just pop on the market for 5 minutes, guys. I'm not got too much more to go through. If there's anything in the comments, guys, you want to fire away, ask me a question, or anything you want to tell me and share with the rest of the guys, then feel free to let us know. But I say this game week, the midweeks, I do have good fortune with the midweeks, you know, so I'm quietly, you know, excited for it. You know, I might do quite well. I'm happy to chase and follow Atlanta versus Philly. Killian Sardella, super rare. How much do you reckon that goes for? 250 quid for, wow, man. The price of ETH now is mental. Like, it's a good card to have. I've got a Killian Sardella, like, from last season. He doesn't play too much, but when he does play and he gets a wee run, you know, they definitely like him at Anderlecht, so he's a good guy to have. He plays centre back, left back, right back. Doesn't play that much, but you know, so you do have to be patient with him. I've had to be so patient with him. I've tried. He's just one of those guys, but I got him so cheap. I got him for like 4 quid, something like, or something stupid like 8 quid. You know, so why sell him? You know what I mean? Something like that. He's got so many years ahead of him. So Guys, that can be quite easy to sit on if you get them cheap enough. I really like the J League cards as well. The designs on all them. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the MLS ones look like. I'm sure they're going to have this same kind of honeycomb, hexagon, or whatever it is, type of pattern, of course, because that's just the way they design the cards. But I'm really hoping that this name bar gets dropped and we get some shirt action. You know, I'm hoping they maybe, because Americans love this shit. Yeah, I mean, they love advertising. They love like exposing the brand, building fan bases. You know, they love that stuff. So I'm sure they want their colours on display. There's some amazing kits in MLS this year. So I'm really hoping some sort of arrangement has been made, will be made around that, because that would be a phenomenal. So imagine then you've got all 27 MLS clubs tweeting out at the same time. Oh my god, it'll be brilliant, man. Such a massive bit of growth in the platform, and that'll be brilliant, man. The thing I can't wait for is see when I get really happy about SoRare. It's honestly, see one of the things that do you know what I'll do? My SoRare data thing, I was actually losing it, and it was really annoying because I lost the first game of last year, and it really pissed me off. And I thought, do you know what? I should have really tried harder in that one, but I did lose it by like a point or something. And this one, I've got some T&Cs in my starting 11, so I'm kind of relying on my bench. Oh, but he had some guys playing tonight, and I think somebody let me down. So I've been beat by Trongi, if that's what it is, Troniq. So Mancini killed me. Vela, I've got okay. Darwin Núñez killed me. Yeah, I talked myself into Darwin having a big game week because he got man of the match on Monday. I should have went with Jordan in both lineups that Darwin was in, and I'd have had a fucking fantastic game week. I threw that away. I don't know how I got hyped up with him. This guy's team was solid, you know, nothing terribly amazing. I think Osman played tonight, didn't he? So he got 60 points at the end, and I think he maybe had somebody else playing quite late in the match, the game week. So I lost the first game 2 seasons in a row, which is not fun, guys. It really isn't. But the thing when I get really excited, see one of the things that makes me so excited is this mad ELO ranking thing that he's come up with. That's like a chess kind of equivalent, but it's on this. Mine's is going to get tanked after this game week, but I really like that because that's, for me, that's like the horizon. That's like one of the futures of SoRare. It's going to be like the kind of the place to be when it comes to fantasy football, like undisputed. It'll be like the UFC in that sense. There's boxing, yeah, okay, there's boxing, that's cool. There's, you know, this and that and all the other ones and whatever. But that UFC, that's the place you go for like combat sports. You know, it'll be like if you're after fantasy football, SoRare's the place. You know, that's kind of where I see everything. You know, that this setup that they've got going. So the thought of getting MLS on just whets the appetite, because if you think about it, right, Eredivisie, Jupiler League, J League, K League, and is that all the main full divisions? I think it is, isn't it? They're all quite ambitious leagues in terms of, you know, they're hungry for more exposure and they're trying to grow the brand and all the rest. Even all the Russian clubs, I know it's not the full Russian league, but there's enough of them at this point. They're very open and active in terms of trying to grow their audience and grow their brand and just engage with football fans and be more accessible clubs. And I think, you know, the more you've got of that, it will just become this kind of community of, and I see people saying it on Twitter all the time, like, I love this Twitter community, it's amazing. It is, it's just about football. You know what I mean? Which is fantastic. Mike Basson, I hope to win a Challenger D4 card, but it'll be hard now. Mikey, best of luck, Stefan. Does MLS have a kit contract across the board with Adidas? Oh. Possibly, by the way. I don't think I've noticed that up until you said that, Mikey, that they're all Adidas. But very possibly, because Adidas sponsor like a lot of the youth stuff in America. There's like, so if you think about all the complicated stuff you think you know about the MLS in terms of GAM, TAM, designated player, foreign nationals, youth development, there's a new youth one that came out this year, blah de blah de blah. If you forget about all that stuff, there's always Adidas X-Gen guys that came out the draft. So there might be like the top 8 guys in the country, young guys that are coming through. They'll, or maybe, you know, maybe all the top young guys go to Adidas, right? They used to call it the Combine, right? And it must be called Adidas Generation X or something now. And they all go there and they all like get trained for, I don't know how long it is exactly. Let's say it's a month or 2. and they all get assessed and pushed and all the rest of it, and then they designate like the best of them, and they go, right, these guys are like separate to all allocations. They're like a hot prospect that the league wants to do well because they're a talented football player and blah blah blah. So again, it used to be called something else, I can't remember what, but they're now called Adidas X Gen Stars or something like that. I forget. So if Adidas did have a league wide kit deal, it wouldn't surprise me. But it's not one that I know for a fact. Mikey, as I say that, I've not watched UFC seriously in about 8 years. I used to watch it like all the time, but I've just not had the time for it, to be honest with you. And the guys I really liked all retired. Like, I was a huge Anderson Silva fan, loved GSP, loved Liddell and Ortiz, loved all those guys. And then as they were all kind of fading out and retiring and stuff, I thought, well, all the new guys coming up were cool. I loved Lyoto Machida and Vitor Belfort, and a lot of those guys as well were class. But a lot of the guys that I really liked when Anderson Silva retired, especially, I was kind of like, right, okay, because he was my main favourite. I loved that guy. Just didn't have as much time to watch. It's like a football team. If the football team you really like isn't playing, you don't always want to watch football, you know. And the fighters I really supported and I really liked, they just don't fight anymore, you know. So, hey ho. But yeah, guys, I think the stream's kind of went on long enough. There's not too much more to say. Content will be coming throughout the week. Well, guys, right. Thursday night, guys, is going to be a massive stream. When we see the full complement of the game week we've got for the weekend, I'm sure Twitter's going to be excited, talking about fixtures and team combinations, all that kind of stuff. The stream on Thursday will be amazing, because it's going to be such an amazing game week to get our teeth stuck into. We'll be going through all the divisions, we'll be going through as many teams as we possibly can. All you guys are welcome, of course. You guys make the stream what it is, and you know, we'll try and set us all of us up as well as we possibly can to go and attack the game week. You know what I mean? Make sure we're all well armed with good info and good kind of, you know, sounding boards, you know, bounce info off of, because you guys in the chat are as active as I am here on camera, which is lovely. Hope you enjoyed yourself tonight, guys. I hope the game week, it sounds like a few of you have picked up cards along with myself. I'll do a fleet, I'll get a wee fleet out for whatever it is I pick up. It'll be a tier 1 Asia card, so unless it's a Kawasaki player, or, you know, like Key, or, you know, somebody that I know and I'm like, oh, brilliant, I like that guy, then I'm not going to probably just sell it, to be honest. So the Asia region isn't one that I'm heavily deep on. As long as I've got Key in my team, and most of these guys, I love them all, to be honest with you. You can see all their serial numbers with the exception of Marcos Jr., because he's of the 3 guys in the middle anyway. I've had these guys for months, so having them all in a winning team like this is lovely. It's really lovely. Really glad to see that. Like, subscribe, share, retweet, blah blah blah, all that good stuff, guys.